Welcome back. If this is your first time joining us, you might want to take a moment to check out some of our earlier episodes. They set the stage for a lot of what we talk about here and give a bit more context on how we got here. For everyone returning, thanks for coming back. Let's jump into this episode, Being Tracked, What's Real and What's Noise. You're listening to Quietly Secure. Welcome back to Quietly Secure, the podcast about digital privacy, personal security, and staying informed without becoming paranoid. In the last episode, we talked about why privacy still matters, even when you feel like you have nothing to hide. Today, we're going to zoom in on something that makes a lot of people uneasy: online tracking. You've probably heard phrases like, "Your phone is listening to you," "Everything you do online is tracked," or "They know more about you than you know about yourself." Some of this is true, some of it is exaggerated, and some of it honestly doesn't matter very much at all. So today we're going to break this down calmly and practically. What online tracking actually does, when it affects ads, when it affects decisions, and when it mostly doesn't. And how to decide what's worth caring about without trying to live like a digital ghost. No fear-mongering, no tech jargon spirals, just signal over noise. So let's start with the basics. When people say online tracking, they usually imagine something very personal, like someone watching your screen or reading your messages. That's not what most tracking is. Most online tracking is statistical and behavioural, not personal. It usually involves things like which website you visit, how long you stay on a page, what links you click, what kind of device and browser you're using, rough location like city, region, not your street address. This data is often tied to cookies, browser fingerprints, app identities, and account logons. And most of the time, it's not used to identify you as a person. It's used to identify you as a category. For example, someone interested in fitness, someone shopping for travel, someone who likes to buy electronics. The distinction matters because the system usually doesn't care who you are, it cares what bucket you fit in. And that leads us to ads. This is the part of tracking that actually works pretty well. If you search for hiking boots, you'll probably see ads for hiking boots. If you watch videos about photography, you'll get camera ads. If you browse apartments, you'll get estate agent ads suddenly appearing. That's not your phone listening to you. It's pattern recognition. Advertisers don't know your name, your exact identity, your private thoughts. They know this browser behaviour is like someone who might buy X. And honestly, most of the time, that's just mildly annoying. Targeted ads don't force you to buy things, don't control your behaviour, and don't predict your future with scary accuracy. They just try to increase the odds that you'll click. For many people, this is the least harmful use of tracking, even if it feels a bit creepy. Real concerns start when tracking moves beyond ads. This is where things deserve a bit more attention. Tracking can matter more when it's used for credit decisions, insurance pricing, employment screening, political messaging, content ranking and visibility. For example, what content gets shown to you, what posts appear at the top of your feed, what job listings you see, what news stories are amplified. This isn't about someone spying on you personally, It's about systems shaping your environment. Two people searching for the same topic may see different headlines, different recommendations, different narratives. Not because of conspiracy, but because algorithms optimize for engagement. And engagement often means emotional content, confirming existing beliefs, keeping you scrolling. This is where tracking intersects with influence. Not in a mind control way, but in a subtle, cumulative way. You're not being controlled, but your attention is being guided. It's worth being aware of. Here's the part that often gets lost online. A lot of tracking just doesn't matter much. Things that usually aren't worth losing sleep over. Seeing ads that feel oddly specific, websites knowing your device type, anonymous analytics tracking page views, a company knowing you're in a general interest category. You don't need 12 browser extensions, a custom VPN chain, a completely fake online identity. Trying to eliminate all tracking often costs more in stress than it's worth. Perfect privacy isn't realistic, and it's not necessary for most people. The goal isn't invisibility. The goal is intentional exposure. So, how do you decide what actually matters? Here's a simple framework. Care more about tracking when it's tied to your real identity. It affects your money, safety, or opportunities. Or it limits your access to information. It removes meaningful choice or consent. Care less when it's anonymous or aggregated. It only affects ads. It doesn't change outcomes. Avoiding it would make your life significantly worse. Practical steps that actually help would be using a privacy-respecting browser, be intentional about app permissions, log out of accounts that you're not actively using, and finally separate important accounts from casual browsing. Not everything needs a technical fix. Sometimes awareness is enough. Online tracking isn't a monster hiding in your device, but it's also not imaginary. It's a system built around incentives, attention, engagement, convenience. The quiet skill isn't avoiding it completely. The quiet skill is knowing when it matters, when it doesn't, and when fear is louder than the risk. That's what Quietly Secure is about. In the next episode, we'll talk about your digital identity, what actually makes it, why it sounds scarier than it is, and how to manage it. Until then, stay curious, not afraid.